Hello traders, welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 193. In this one we're gonna have a quick glance at the monthly time frame as well, because the monthly candle closed actually last week and we already have 1 week worth of data within the month of May. We had an insanely busy week, lots of news, lots of economic news releases, lots of buys and lots of sells anywhere in the market. So we're gonna explore everything and try to potentially draw an overall macro bias for where the main currency pairs we're looking at are potentially gonna go, and of course try to go with that overall flow. But as you always know, I always preach following the current flow, so looking like at the smaller time frames than the monthly, the weekly, and the daily, because again those time frames are really macro. They're for swing traders that hold positions for a very long time. Personally, me, I just trade for like 2 to 3 hours a day, so I don't need to be looking at the monthly, weekly, and daily. All I need to know is, okay, what is going to happen within London session and how I can follow that intra-session momentum, right? But of course, we're going to do some great top-down analysis in this video. You know, at the start of every month, I'm giving away a free access to the Fanatic Way program that includes 2 amazing modules, the Fanatic Way course module and the Fanatic Flicks course module, with 150 hours worth of content and our amazing trading community. And this giveaway goes this week to Mr. Dennis Boakie. Hopefully I pronounced this correctly. Thank you so much, Dennis, for all the support. You have the hard batch, which means you have been sticking for a very long time. You have been commenting on every video. So thank you so much for the support. And this is my way of giving back to the community. So we'll be looking forward to having you in the team and working with you. All right. If you're new to this channel, it's all about trading. I share these weekly outlook and setups every Saturday, and once per week I share an educational piece of content or a trading setups breakdown video. So make sure you're subscribed, turn on the notification bell, and without further ado, we have a lot to cover, so let's get into it. Alright, as always, we're gonna get started with a Dixie, have a look what is happening right now. Before we do that, we of course want to jump to the news first. By the way, excuse me for my voice. I took a full week off this week. I just took one little trade on Tuesday. It was a whim. And then I had my best friend visit me in the Netherlands, and we traveled around the country. We had lots of beers, and now I'm sick, so my voice is a little bit funny. So if we transfer on to the economic calendar, so we have on Monday, we have monetary policy meeting minutes for Bank of Japan. Budget release right there, not sure how important it is, but it could be. And the highlight pretty much of this week is CPI for the US. Very, 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 very important, right? Because we know nowadays with inflation, with the roaring inflation, investors and traders are mainly looking for the CPI news releases, and in order to determine like, okay, how are we going to position ourselves? So that one is very, very, very important. And then on Thursday, we have all the news for the GBP. So Bank of England, hike, vote, speech, and everything that goes with the interest rate decision. Then we have GDP for the GBP, and then we have this Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index on Friday. So it's not as busy as last week, but we have CPI, which is kind of the market is going to be expecting. But then, of course, after Wednesday, so Friday and Thursday could be great, and also Monday and Tuesday could be amazing. Wednesday could be a little bit funky. So again, always check your economic calendars and make sure you position your trading accordingly. All right. So looking at the monthly time frame on the Dixie, again, it does not tell me as much, right? So what I can say is that, sure, it's bullish. Okay, if I zoom out right there, we had like an overall break of structure right there. The market massively pushed. If I draw a fib from the low to the high, I just make it like a normal fib, we can see 50% has been tapped. And when the market taps 50%, it reaches kind of this equilibrium level. So it's not like expensive, but it's also not cheap. And you can see it has been like since we tapped on the 2nd of January, right? So we pretty much have 4 months of the market not really trending, right? I hope you would agree. We didn't push up, but we also didn't push down. We had a really bullish February. We thought that the market is going to actually reverse and keep climbing up, right? But then we had kind of a bearish March, and then we have an overall inside. Or it's not inside bar. Yeah, but you can see we just took out like this monthly low right there. And does not tell me a lot, right? What it actually tells me is that we're having an overall kind of consolidation on the monthly. The market is just consolidating around the 50%. And as I always tell you guys, where is a good place to be buying or selling? Well, at the extremes, at the edges, right? You want to be buying down there and you want to be selling up there. So currently the market is exactly in the middle. So this is pretty much what happens right now. We are ranging on the monthly. So the overall intention is of course bullish. Okay, so if you of course get a long bias, then you're trading with the monthly time frame. But again, this is why I don't look at the monthly, because if I looked at it, I would say, well, this is my demand zone, I'm gonna long from here. Well, it could take the market a year to get down there, right? So let's slowly start to transfer onto the weekly time frame. And yeah, we can see here, we kind of tapped inside, we took the liquidity below this low. And as we took that liquidity, we had a very nice bullish weekly candle. Then for a couple of more weeks, we pushed into the highs, but then we withdrew all the way down. And we came on and took out this low. Okay, so this is technically to me a break of structure to the downside, which makes this my major weekly lower high. Okay, so right now we actually made a couple of weeks. So you can see, guys, we have been in an inside bar for quite some time right now on the weekly time frame. So you can see this week it was the 10th of April that actually caused the break of the structure, and then we have 1, 2, 3 candles that stay inside this mother candle. So we can be expecting a breakout anytime soon. And if we actually ask the question, okay, where does it make sense for the market to break out? Well, it's to the downside. Why? Well, because we're bearish on the weekly. And it looks like there are not enough buyers to push the market into the highs. So I would say I have a little bit more of a bearish bias on the Dixie. But again, with CPI next week, I would be patient and not really try to draw a very specific bias, because when we start dropping onto the daily right now, we can see that we have had this analysis for quite a while, right? That is our daily lower high, that is our daily lower low. The market pulled back, it tried to push, it failed. And then what I told you last week actually is that I expect this to be taken and for us to react. So pretty much my last weekly outlook for the Dixie played out perfectly. The market kind of chopped around, but then I told you that this is a weak high and it's very good liquidity with this also double top right there. And then you can see the market tested it multiple times, but then it came in, took it, and look at the reaction, just boom, massively flushed. All right, so this is what happens when you understand liquidity. The market takes it within the bearish market on the daily, and then it just went. Okay, so we had a break of structure right there, and since then we haven't had anything. So pretty much right now, this is the high, this is the low. So that's our 4-hourly lower high, and that's our 4-hourly lower low. So we're trading within this range. The market already went above and threw a little wick into the above the 50% and responded. So I think, well, yeah, looking at the daily, looking at the weekly as well, and even the 4-hourly time frame, I am more bearish than bullish on the Dixie. So if I drop on the 50-minute, I wouldn't do this, because I mean this week was pretty heavy, pretty wicky, like up and down, up and down, up and down. So I would personally wait for just a little bit more data in order to start trading, right? But I would say from right now that I have a more bearish outlook on the Dixie. So let's see if actually the other pairs are going to be supporting this. So again, this is that weekly inside bar low, and I do think this is a great liquidity point to target. So again, how is it going to work out? Is it going to give us another pullback and then a short, or is it just going to drop from here and take out the low? I don't know. So let's wait for Monday to open, adapt to the market, and of course try to catch a good trade. So that's the Dixie. Let me know, guys, if you agree with my analysis or if you have a different outlook. Share it in the comments. All right, let's have a look at Euro USD. So again, coming from the Dixie analysis, we should be expecting potential longs on Euro. But once again, if you look at the monthly time frame, it's pretty much the same as the Dixie, but in reverse. Like if I do this, it's exactly the same as the Dixie, right? We're having this overall kind of push to the downside. The market is above 50%, but you can see, like, as we tap the 50%, we gave a reaction, but then we still recovered and actually made a new high. So the Euro is actually pretty bullish right now. We don't have any signals for bearishness apart from this little bearish candle right there that we had in February. So it's still pushing up. It's potentially going somewhere. And like, this is the main question right now. Okay, so where is it gonna stop? And usually you can look at imbalances. You can look at like levels on the left, like, but then I don't like this, because what you're gonna start doing is, all right, supply area right there, imbalance right there, and then supplier right there. So you have all of these levels. Okay, so which one is gonna stop the market, and what is gonna happen at the end? The market is gonna keep pushing up, and then break the structure up. All right, so again, focus on what is happening right now. In terms of last monthly candle, it was actually pretty bullish. I mean, it was bullish. We went on and we broke out this high, which looks like a push, pullback, higher low, higher high. So we are currently at the top, and you can see like the monthly candle has already opened. It's looking like a nice doji. So transferring onto the weekly candle, it's gonna be that exact same doji because we're still in the first week. But yeah, I mean, weekly time frame, it looks absolutely bullish. We had a push. We had a pullback, we're having another push. So what I don't like right now when it comes to EU is that it's at the very top right there and it's starting to become funky, right? So we had April right there push, then we have this funny candle right there, then we have this nice pin bar on top, and right now we have this strange doji. So is it cooking for a pullback, or is it cooking for it to continue going higher? Again, we don't know. We don't know. A lot of things could happen, but again, the weekly time frame does not tell me much, apart from the fact that we are at a higher high on the weekly and we took major liquidity right there on the left, right? But you can see usually after the liquidity is taken, we should be initiating a pullback soon, but the market kind of pulled back, broke again, and then this week it's not pulling back to the downside. So again, is it possible that it's just going to continue going up? Let's check it out. Dropping into the daily time frame, well, the daily has been bullish for quite a while, right? We had a break of structure right there, push higher high, higher low. Then we had a break of structure right there. What caused this break? It was, yeah, roughly around this guy. This is the major higher low. The market pushed, it pulled back. On Tuesday, actually, we tapped very nicely inside this demand. We pushed very nicely up, but we failed to take out the high. And right now, it looks like we are in a little bit of a range. So let's just keep in mind that the daily is still bullish. And then we drop on the FOIC. So when it dropped on the FOIC, I'm pretty happy I didn't trade this week because it doesn't look really good. You can see it's pretty consolidative. It's very choppy. Like here we had a very big range, then we enter into another range right there, then we push up, then we push back down again. So technically right now, if I just drag this daily demand zone, this low failed to cause a new high. So this can be a potential liquidity area, although I don't think so. So if we try to read the 4-hourly time frame, there was a break of structure right there. In fact, the trend change, and then pretty much this is our major 4-hourly higher low, right? And the demand is right there. So I do think a lot of liquidities has been taken because we pushed, we pulled back, then we made this internal low. The market tried to push, failed, then this becomes weak. It snaps it out, breaks it, and then look at the reaction exiting outside of this demand area, which is the major 4-hourly higher low formation. So I see two things happening right there. We either have like an immediate long trade like this. I don't think we're gonna come and take out this low because that is the major 4-hourly low right now, but it could also be a weak daily low because this tap inside the daily demand zone failed to cause a new daily break, and usually these kind of levels are weak. So that could be another situation right there, but I'm more favoring an immediate long. Okay, so again, this definitely aligns with the Dixie. I'm bullish also on the euro, but again, like dropping onto the 50-minute, you gotta be waiting a little bit. So we came in, we tapped, we actually made a 50-minute trend change right there. So I mean, you can immediately go on and start looking like for a little pullback right there and take a long trade on Monday. But personally, I would be looking just a little bit to get a little bit more data to get a feeling of the market, and then of course I'm gonna be striking. So that is the euro. Bullish on the weekly, bullish on the daily, and bullish on the FOIC. So pretty much my bias is bullish. The only question is, okay, how do we get in? Well, let's wait for Monday to open, and then of course we're gonna flow with the market. So let me know what you think, guys, on EU, and let's head into EJ. Having a look at EJ, just at first glance, it is just bullish, right? We had a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, pushed up, broke structure, and actually it broke with a very nice engulfing candle, a very nice body break as well. So this really suggests that the monthly is bullish, and we have been trending up for quite a while. Now, if we just zoom out to see, okay, where are we? Well, yeah, we just came in to take out this massive high from 2015, 2014 actually. Yep. So a very, very, very old high. But again, usually what happens when you take such an old high, there is lots of liquidity resting above it. And the market, when it takes it, it can potentially initiate a pullback. And we can see already this week, we are initiating the pullback. But again, monthly time frame is bullish. That is our monthly higher low. So bullish bias. Dropping onto the weekly time frame. Well, same thing. I mean, the weekly time frame was bearish for quite a while, right there, and it had this supply. Oops. So it had this supply right here, and then the market, let me just make sure I'm correct, because I'm not. Yep, so I'm doing some BS right there. So pretty much if we just track everything back, this is the last break of structure right there. Okay, and then what causes break of structure? It was this. And you can see this was never broken. So again, just to recap, this is the demand zone, right? The market came in, didn't even breach it right there. And then of course it shifted bullish. So we were bullish all the time, but this right there is kind of an internal supply that didn't really cause any major break of structure. This is why it gave us a reaction, another potential long right there, and then we just started massively rolling into the highs. So which is great. So right now the weekly higher low is here, right? We have a massive push into the high. So yeah, I think it makes sense to look for a couple of pullback trades, maybe 1 or 2 more bearish weeks to give us a pullback, then to potentially initiate higher. But of course it can just keep pushing up, because then dropping onto the daily time frame, you can see that this is our daily higher low. The market is currently tapping inside, giving us a little reaction, and again it could just continue pushing higher, but again we never know. And then forward time frame is okay, let me see. Well, yeah, it depends on how you look at ranges. Like this, according to you, could be a break. To me, it's not really. This one, not really. Okay, right. So it really depends if this is a break for you, because if it's not, then to me this is the higher low on the forward time frame, which means that even the forward time frame is too bullish, reacting from this demand. So looking at EJ, it's absolutely bullish on every time frame, right? But just because you're bullish doesn't mean you're going to be taking longs, right? Because again, weekly time frame is at the top, daily time frame is also at the top, but we're just retesting like this daily higher low formation. So the main thing about EJ right now is to determine, all right, are we going to be reversing down on the daily and making like 1 or 2 more bearish weeks of price action to make that weekly pullback, or are we going to start jumping up from here? Okay, so not looking amazing right now because we're technically trading within this range, which is not great, but we pull back all the way down. So right now, if you drop like to the 50-minute, you can already start, like if the market starts to nicely trend into the highs and give you some nice intraday long opportunities, absolutely go for it, because everything is bullish right now, right? But of course, it can give us a kind of a breakdown. And if it breaks the daily zone right here, then that could mean a weekly pullback can initiate. And then we can pull back like anywhere towards this demand zone right there on the weekly. So let's see. EJ, absolutely bullish right now. I'm going to be looking for longs if I was trading this pair, but of course we first have to be looking for a setup. So let's wait for Monday to play out, and then of course we're going to be striking. Aussie dollar has been tricky to read on the monthly time frame because you can look at it again in multiple ways. There could be a break of structure down there, which turns the monthly time frame bearish, and then right now we're technically bearish, trading from, yeah, again it depends. What is your lower high? Is it this guy right there? Is it this guy right there, or is it this guy right there? So I don't have rules for the monthly time frame, so that's tricky for me to determine, but this to me looks the cleanest one, right? This to me looks the cleanest one, and I do believe these highs right there are just liquidity. So we're also tapping inside this very massive demand right there that happened during the COVID crash. We had this very nice sell, then we had a very massive buy, so which is why we're currently reacting into the highs. But again, what I'm gonna say is that we are bearish on the monthly. We came in and took out this high as potential liquidity. We reacted very nicely. So again, is it going to continue going down towards this lower low right there? Definitely could be the case. Bearish Aussie. But again, let's see. I mean, the monthly time frame, last monthly candle does not tell me much. It just came in and took out the previous monthly high, reacted, didn't take out the monthly low, and right now we're starting in a very bullish manner. So could it be that we gave a little pullback and then drop, or could it be that we go for a retest of a higher level? So again, I don't know. This is way too far in time to look at. So then dropping onto the weekly time frame, well, the weekly time frame makes a little bit more sense because here we came on and we broke structure to the downside on the weekly, then which makes this our weekly lower high, this one. Then this is our weekly lower low, which never got broken. So this is the weekly range we're trading at, and the market hasn't yet pulled back to 50%. And what you can see is happening right now is we're just having a nasty big range right there. So broke down, And then again, you can see like this candle had quite a couple of inside bars, but then we broke up and then we just started ranging again. So again, you can see daily time frame is chopping. Oh, sorry, this is weekly. Sorry. This is weekly time frame. And then again, if you drop to the daily, it's gonna be a little bit cleaner, but again, not very nice. So here we had a bullish break on the day, then we had a bearish break on the day, then we had a bullish break, then we have a bearish break. And right now, this is gonna be the bullish break on the daily, and the daily is gonna align bullish. So if you ask me specifically about the Aussie, I would say wait. I don't know what we're gonna be waiting for because everything is out right now. We have that budget release on Tuesday for the Aussie, so that could give us some little bit of momentum. But again, yeah, weekly is choppy, daily is choppy. Then of course, forward time frame is our savior because forward time frame gives us like what is happening in between all of this range. Again, you don't want to be trading ranges, but again, if I just ignore everything that we saw and I just zoom in, okay, what is happening right now? Well, we had a break up right there, pull back, higher low, higher high, pull back, higher low formation, beautiful long right there, pushed up, right, broke structure again. What caused this break of structure? Oh, well, it's this, right? And then of course we have another break of structure. What caused it? It's this. But in fact, this is not valid, so we're still trading within this, right? So we are bullish. We're bullish, and according to me, this is our very strong demand zone. This is also strong demand zone, but it's not a valid higher low according to me. And yeah, so we can be looking for longs from both areas. If I just draw like a fib like this demand zone is within the 50%. So again, pullback right there with an entry setup, or even a pullback down there with an entry setup. And we're just about coming to align bullish on the daily time frame as well. So I am framing this bullish bias on the Aussie. We just gotta wait to see how it's gonna play out. But yeah, just keep in mind that again, monthly is a little bit tricky. Weekly is choppy, daily is choppy, definitely. So you gotta be focusing on the FOH. And again, keep in mind we're trading in a range, right? So there is roughly your middle line, and right now we're exactly at the middle. So again, be careful, and if you just don't wanna take low probability trades, just jump to another pair that is clearly trending. So that's the Aussie. Aussie JPY, massive push up, massive push down. Monthly time frame is absolutely bullish. So starting from here all the way there, pulls back below 50%, amazing. It took out that little low as liquidity, then it came in and took out this little low, and it looks like it still doesn't have power to push up. But again, I'm just gonna tell you, well, monthly time frame is bullish. So does that offer you an edge when you trade intraday? I don't think so. Personally, right? I hear a lot of traders say, I've watched the course as well, monthly time frame is your time frame, right? Very good, very good. I mean, the monthly time frame is always gonna prevail because you can see it since it shifted here, it has been bullish since then, right? But again, you gotta wait a lot. You gotta wait a lot, but then again, if you have a monthly setup, then you can strike with confidence and with bigger risk. So monthly time frame is bullish, but weekly time frame is bearish. There's the weekly time frame. Right, so we're tapping into supply right now, and we're getting quite a couple of rejection candles right there. So again, in order for the weekly to align with the monthly, it has to break above this level. Then dropping onto the daily is, what is the daily doing? Well, yeah, the daily aligned bullish here, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So then you can see the daily is bullish, and that is our daily higher low. So you start seeing right now, monthly bullish, weekly bearish, daily bullish, and then forward is gonna be bearish. So this is why I always say focus on 2 to 3 time frames. Okay, one for macro, one for micro, and one for entries. Because again, if I just jump on the 40 time frame right now, yes, sure, we tapped into the supply, we took lots of liquidity, and we also aligned bearish on the FOH. Okay, so according to me, well, yeah, here we broke down, but we immediately closed, but then we have another one candle. Yeah, so the 40 time frame is currently bullish, and this is our demand zone. But again, I would be also careful within this supply because this is a very strong supply. Maybe I want to take a smaller candle. This one looks pretty good, but it's too big. Yeah, so it's gonna be, oops. Oh no, what the hell did I do? All right, so we go to AJ. Yeah, so this is how I look at the market right now. The most recent break is bullish. But if we tap inside this supply, I can expect a reaction, maybe to pull us back right there, and then to potentially continue with that overall bullish flow. Okay, so that is AJ, not entirely clean. I really like this Weekly supply, I really like how the market came in, grabbed liquidity and massively aligned down. But I also see that we have a lot of bullish pressure coming in from the downside. So it's a little bit 50-50. Therefore, take both sides. This is my bearish side, this is my bullish side, whatever. Currently the market is pretty much nowhere. So whatever happens first, then of course I'm gonna adapt. If we come in right there and give a short entry, I'm gonna take a short. If we pull back down there and give a long entry, I'm definitely gonna be taking a long. Okay, so that's AJ. Let's see how it plays out and let me know what you think about the Aussies. Similar to the Aussies, NZDs are also tricky to read on the monthly time frame because again we can look at it in multiple ways, and like the biggest determinant of what is actually happening is this little guy right there. Because if this according to you is a higher low formation, there we have a break, right? But I would say that this is not entirely clean according to me, and if you actually ignore this and say that this is not a higher low formation, then your monthly time frame is bullish. And we're currently pulling back all the way down towards this demand, and you can see how perfectly it got respected. It came very close to breaking it, but then since then we have had quite a couple of big push right there. And right now we have been kind of in a little bit of a range for the past 2 months. All right, so again, keep this in mind. I personally don't like this as a higher low, and if I just jump back on the Aussie is definitely better. It has like it actually has like 1, 2, and 3 months of a pullback right there, while NZUSD like has, it's not even a pullback right there, just has like 1 and then it just broke up. Okay, so those are little details to study, but I would say that NZUSD has a more bullish outlook on the monthly. Dropping onto the weekly time frame, well, currently yes, we're gonna be probably bearish because we broke up, then we broke down, and yeah, and yes, so this is our weekly supply and our weekly major high. The market pulled back 50%. It tries to push down, it fails. So what does that mean is that this one can potentially be liquidity because it failed to cause a new low, or the market can right now be just pulling back to grab more liquidity in order to go down. But again, is what is gonna happen, we don't know. Dropping on the day, man, this one so tough. So yeah, there is some sort of a breakup structure right there because it chop, broke up, came in, reacted, broke, lower high, lower low. Yeah, so this is definitely lower high right there. It got broken. So daily has shifted bullish, and the daily higher low is here. So you can see bullish on the monthly, weekly still bearish, but also daily is aligning bullish, and probably the 40 time frame is also starting to kick in a little bit bullishness. So yeah, our lows, our highs, our lows. And if you just zoom in to see what is happening right there, this is not valid. So the valid higher low on the 4H is this, still according to me, and this is the range we're trading inside. And the major kind of higher low according to me is this big guy right there. And you can see this demand is perfectly below 50%. So if we happen to come inside right there, that is where we can take a good long opportunity. And if the market starts to break up, then of course we have to follow with the new 40 ranges. So that's my NZD. I don't like NZD, but I think just based on all the macro analysis we did, it's overall bullish. And if like the 40 time frame is gonna prevail, it's potentially gonna attack this week daily high. So let's see what's gonna happen. But personally, I will be looking for a better place to go long. But if the 15-minute starts to like nicely trend up, maybe it gives us a little bit of pullback. Maybe it's going to be taking this low as liquidity, tap inside the 50%. And then if it starts offering me bullishness, I will definitely be interested to get into some longs. So that's the NZD. This one looks pretty similar to the last one we covered, AJ. So yeah, bullish on the month, but it really depends. Like this looked like a high. Took it out. Then we have like another little wick. Oh man, this is tricky, because if this here is a break, then this is what caused the break and we came in and wicked it down. But then again, look at the wicks. I mean, this one just doesn't look like breaks. And although I love taking wicks as breaks, I mean, yeah, this one just wicked down. And then technically right now, this is the lower high that broke the structure down. So technically broke up. I'm going to ignore the monthly on this one. I'm just going to be very strategic and ignore the monthly because it's definitely confusing me, right? It overall looks bullish, right? And if we just take like this whole range like that, we have been pulling back below 50% quite a couple of times. Weekly time frame, well, there we had a breakdown and there we have a breakup. So again, it's like a nice little wick, but it's a breakup. So then technically the weekly time frame is turning bullish, and that is our weekly higher low. Then dropping onto the daily, it's pretty much the same as the daily. Okay, so yeah, NJ definitely framing it bullish. It really depends on what is going to be happening right now. Are we going to pull back towards that weekly / daily demand zone to get along, or are we just going to continue rolling into the highs with the 4-hourly time frame? If I just zoom in on the 4H, yeah, 4-hourly is tricky because there is no valid higher low within right there. Nope. So no valid higher low within right there, which means our higher low is all the way down there. Well, yeah. So guys, this one is very tricky. This one is very, very, very tricky. And I would personally wait for the market to either break out the high or for the market to come close like towards this low, which is our major low. Again, you can go a little bit outside of the rules and say like this is a breakdown. Trend change down, lower high, lower low, and then you can be looking for a trend change up. But again, personally, I stick to my rules and this is my range. So NJ definitely out of the trading list for me, looking for a new range breakout, either to the top or maybe pull back all the way down to give me a long. So those are the NZDs. Both are bullish. Everything so far resonates with the overall analysis. Let's jump onto UJ and some USD pairs now. Well, USDJPY looks kind of the same as the Dixie. It had a very massive period of bullishness right there, and then we have right now a very nice pullback. And again, the big question is, all right, where is it gonna stop? Well, we don't know. The market has pulled back, and again, it depends on how we draw the fib, right? If we take it from the absolute low to the absolute high, we just kind of came in and yeah, we actually crossed the 50%, right? We crossed the 50%. We had a very nice reaction, but again, we haven't had any strength to either push up or push down. You can see like the past 2 months are ranges, and in fact, like the month of April closes an inside bar, and we have like this high and this low as our monthly mother candle. So we're pretty much soon gonna be having a breakout. Weekly time frame, well, again, yeah, weekly time frame still remains from here. Like this is that weekly supply zone, which makes that the weekly bearish. Pulls back, tries to push, fails. Then again, technically this low right there, this high is weak. Why? Because it failed to cause a new break of a low. So I have a feeling like, yeah, look at that. It came so close to taking out this high, but it did not. So very, very, very sketchy price action on UJ. The daily time frame is right now bullish. We've had a couple of like highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, boom, boom, boom. This is the last one, and we're currently retesting that daily higher low formation. So again, you can see monthly time frame, not much of a value. Weekly time frame is still bearish, and it doesn't give me like a really strong level to short from, because this one came in, pushed down, failed. So right now, as I keep telling you in all the videos, two things could happen. We can either take out that weak highs liquidity and then drop, or it can just pull back for a little bit of a liquidity grab and then continue going down. And that can definitely be the case. Dropping onto the 4H, well, 4-hourly time frame, not valid. Yeah, so 4-hourly time frame, it looks like it's the same range. Like if you again don't count this one to be your break, which you definitely could. Definitely could count this one as a break, but personally, my major higher low is all the way down there. So that's the major higher low for me. On the 4H, it came in, tapped, and is actually reacting right now. So this one gives me a hard time because I see some sells coming in, but I also see that it's overall bullish right now. So I would personally wait for some sort of a breakout as well. Or maybe if you start getting some longs within this sort of areas right there, like if you drop to the 50-minute right now and then the market pulls back a little bit and starts giving you longs, then definitely go for it, because we're still long on the daily and the 4-hourly, right? But again, keep in mind that we're tapping inside this massive weekly supply. The market could be coming in to grab some sort of liquidity, maybe let's say from here, right? It came in to retest that old supply. It gave a nice reaction. So right now, what I really want to see when it comes to the 4H is if it's going to be bearish, it's going to break below this low, retest, and then we can potentially head to that monthly inside bar low. But if it's bullish, it's going to keep carrying on from here and attack that inside bar high. So there are my two scenarios on UJ. Let's see what's going to happen. How are we going to take them? Well, that depends on the intraday price action. But again, this is how I look at UJ right now. If I get a long trade anywhere kind of within these areas, I will be happy to take so. But again, I'm just going to wait to observe what's going to happen and then flow with the market. So let me know, guys, if you think UJ is going to go higher or lower. So UCAT opening the monthly time frame, it just looks like just consolidating, right? And we tried to break it down in the last monthly outlook and setups, and it had so many different ways to break it down, right? I think the main determinant was like if this right there is a higher low, which it is, right? So we broke down right there, broke down here, then we broke up there, then we broke down there, and then it looks like we broke up here. So I think this is the last kind of break we have, which turns the monthly time frame to bullish. And then of course we ask the question, well, where is the higher low formation on the monthly? Well, it's either here, or if you want to be like really conservative, it's right there. So where is the market right now? Well, we just made a new high, and it has been ranging for how many months? 6 months. So 6 months it hasn't made a move, and that is UCAT. It tends to not make a move for a very, very long time. This is why I don't trade this pair. Dropping onto the weekly time frame, again, we have been in this range for quite a while, like just constantly trying to, okay, where is it going? Up or down, up or down, up or down? And it keeps having like differences. So quite a couple of weekly outlooks before, I mentioned that this low is weak, failed to push high, but then the market came in, grabbed a little bit of liquidity, and still tried to push up, but we never broke this weekly high. So this to me tells me right now that this is weak, and this is weak, right? And those are two amazing liquidity points for the market to come in and retest that strong area of demand. And you can see like this week started with a very massive engulfing candle. I don't know exactly why, but like on Friday, yeah, Friday was NFP, like even coming in from Thursday, kind of rolled with this evening stall formation, and just Friday just boom, offloaded. So looking at the big strength coming in from here, unfortunately, like the daily broke up there, and the daily higher low is right there, right? Now it's so hard to record a video, sick. The daily higher low is right there. And right now we're trying to pull back towards that daily higher low formation. But again, is it gonna hold? I don't know. Like multiple times we've said it's gonna break down, but it doesn't break. I really expected when it was right here in February to come in and take out the low, but it did not, right? So right now here I expected for it to take out the low, but it did not again. So is it gonna do it right now? I don't know. Dropping onto the Forex. Well, trading a UCAT intraday right now is gonna be tricky because I just made this massive leg to the downside. Yeah, here you can see it actually had like a couple of those broke down, up, down. So there is your short trade. I think you could have definitely gotten a short trade right there. So let me know, guys, if any of you got that massive short. But yeah, currently like the lower high is here and the market is right there. So you have nothing to do. You cannot really short much right now because the market is tapping into demand and it's making a new lower low. And you cannot long yet because the market is extremely bearish. You first want to see like the 50-minute change a little bit bullish, get some signals right for bullishness, and then potentially go for it. So you can't give it some time. Like, I mean, if you took this short, you're absolutely dumb for the month because that was a huge week. But again, it's always easy to say in hindsight, oh, look at that massive short, I would have taken it, and right now I've been done for the month. Well, sure, but you would have taken profit right there. Right? Because you're going to be taking your 3 to 4 to 5 hour, and then of course you're not going to be riding it for 100 hour. So let's be realistic, right? Well, this is my outlook for UCAT. I mean, it's been confusing me for quite a while, but I keep breaking it down. I don't know what is going to happen. Eventually, I would like to see these lows to go right there because it just doesn't make sense for them to hold. They have been failing to break structure into the highs for quite some time. So let's see if they get taken. Then from this level right there, it could be a good long. So guys, let me know what you think about UCAT. Looking at GBP USD, it kind of looks like Euro USD, right? We have a massive bearish month, but we have been bullish for quite a while. Last monthly candle also closed bullish. So again, the question is, okay, where is it going? And again, you can draw like the imbalance, you can draw the supply, but we never know, according to me, where exactly is it gonna stop. So again, we keep following the flow. But overall, the monthly time frame is bearish again, but it currently looks a little bit more bullish than bearish because we can say we're in a pullback mode. Okay, so weekly time frame has been tricky. I mean, we pushed up, then we chopped for a little bit, then we just continue pushing up. There is no sign of any pullback right there. So since we broke this high, there hasn't been any sign of a pullback. We just keep going higher and higher and higher, and potentially the daily time frame remains bullish. So if I just check it out, that was a higher low formation, higher low right there. Then we broke up, higher low right there. So yeah, it's absolutely bullish. And the last break is here. So the last higher low is right there. There's our last demand zone on the daily. So daily is absolutely bullish. Weekly is bullish. And then dropping onto the Forex. Yeah, currently, Where is our break? So that was a break, that was a breakdown, then that was a break up. Yeah, so currently like this is our major hard low. It doesn't look amazing because we just kind of broke up with one candle and right now we're starting to retrace, but this is how it is. Okay, so we either take a long from here, or if your trend changes down, you take well, like 1 or 2 shorts, tap inside this daily zone, and then from there we keep going higher. So this is how I see GU, right? So let's see how it's gonna work out. It's so far bullish across all time frames. It has a lot of bullish indications, right? The only thing that worries me is that the weekly time frame is just keeps pushing up without a pullback. What I see immediately on the left is this high. Let me just make it bold because that could be where maybe the market is heading, right? Because it has been just pushing up and up and up and up, and usually it goes to seek something, and knowing GU, it wants to seek out a high or a low. So that could be a potential projection. So again, let's see if we can get any long. I mean, this one can open and the first thing it can do is take out this high, and then we can expect like a bigger withdrawal. So again, let's see what is going to happen. Let's wait for the early week to open, and then of course we're going to flow with the markets on Tuesday. GJ, I mean the JPYs right now are tricky. This one actually came in and broke the monthly high. It just took it out this week, and right now we can start initiating like a little bit of a pullback, but this makes this our monthly higher low. Dropping onto the weekly time frame, well, yeah, weekly is also bullish, but the weekly higher low is here. So definitely bullish indications on all time frame. On all time frames, daily time frame is also bullish. That is our daily higher low formation. The market pushed, it pulled back, stopped right there in the middle, printed a bullish candle on Friday. But again, is it ready to go long? I don't know. Let's check out the FOH. The FOH broke up here, then it aligned bearish right there. Do we have any other valid breaks? Not really. Okay, so yeah, it really depends on how you look at structure. Once again, I would personally say that we're still bearish within this range right there. So I would say I would really expect, well, I don't want to speak like this. I would really expect, or I expect, or this, I just think like according to my analysis that we can make a new lower low, take out this low, and then from here we can start looking for an alignment on the FOH. Okay, but of course, if you just look at it a slightly different way, you can say that this was your breakout structure up if you think that this is a higher low formation. So you can also start trying to long it from there. So again, keep both options open. And as I always say, just keep longing the market. Don't throw any predictions. Just wait for the market to show you what it's going to be doing. Wait for the weekly candle to open, the Monday to play out, and then you start getting a feeling, okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, so that's GJ. Overall bullish bias. I mean, it's bullish on every single time frame. GU is also bullish on every, well, not on every single time frame, but the overall outlook is bullish. So bullish on the GBPs. Of course, the question is, how do we get in? So you follow your strategy. Looking at gold, well, it's definitely bullish. I mean, the monthly time frame is absolutely bullish on gold, and we're just coming in very close right now to taking out this high, and then eventually the all-time high right there. So very, very close. They're very close together. Last monthly candle closed as kind of a rejection, but this month already opened and took out the previous monthly high. And it already looks a little bit bullish, but we already threw like a very big wick. So there is a lot of rejection coming in from this sort of area in the left, because you can see last month we had a rejection, and this week opens and throws another rejection, right? So weekly time frame, it definitely looks bullish. And in fact, if I just delete my past analysis right here, we're having this week, this is a valid break, and then this turns into a valid weekly higher low formation. So this definitely makes the market bullish. Then dropping onto the daily is the same as the weekly. And we're pulling back right now, tapping towards this level, and we can be looking for a full hourly alignment. So the market just actually shifted structure to the downside right there, because that was the major full hourly higher low formation. So what I would like to see is a new lower low, right? And then first to start aligning bullish. And then of course, if we get a long, we can be looking to target all these highs. Very surprising to see how like on this attempt right there to make an all-time high, the market stopped very close to the high, right? And right now on this attempt to take out the high, the market stopped very close again. So very interesting, like very, very, very interesting. You can see even if we actually measure it, like this one is around 40 pips, and the last one was also like 40 pips. So very, very, very strange. But again, let's see if it's gonna be the time that we break. If we break below this level, well, that is going to be a weekly and a daily reversal. So then we can start looking for some shorts. So that really depends on like how the DIX is going to be looking like and what the sentiment will be. But again, as I told you last week, like don't trade this, wait for the breakout. Well, we broke out right now, which is looking good. So looking forward to see if this one was not a fake move to the upside right there. So like we can have another situation like range, manipulation, initiate down, and then we can continue going down. That could be the case, but right now we're looking at it fresh. It's actually bullish. So let's see how it's gonna work out and if we're eventually going to be making all-time highs. So let me know, guys, do you think that gold is gonna be making an all-time high this month, or do you think it's actually gonna turn bearish? Let me know. This is my simple outlook for now. All right, let's have a look at the indices to wrap up this analysis. Again, on the monthly time frame, well, we have been chopping around for quite a couple of months right now. So 5 months, we haven't moved outside of this range. Since we tapped in October within this very beautiful demand zone, then we had a very nice expansion, broke internal structure right there. And then since then, we have been just ranging on US 30. Dropping on the weekly time frame, this one is also very tricky. It's actually US 30 is the only index that actually caused a weekly reversal. So that is a weekly break, right? Just make it nice and bold. That is a weekly break, right? And then technically this is our weekly high low formation. And then since then we have been in this kind of range. So very, very, very hard to predict what is going to be happening next. I mean, in terms of the macro analysis. So yeah, weekly time frame doesn't tell me much apart from the fact that it's bullish. I mean, monthly is also bullish. It's bullish on all indices. So then dropping onto the daily is also tough. But again, we broke structure up here, up there. Then we took out the high. And then right now, this week, we took out the low. So we technically have right now a daily bearish alignment. And then, of course, we can try to look for some sort of a supply zone. Right, this one is too small, so I can be taking something like this. So the daily, with the daily aligning bearish, we can maybe have some sort of bearishness towards this low right there. But again, I don't know. Indices have been really tricky to figure out this year so far. You can see, like, as I told you, like it's been since the beginning of the year right there, like January, you can see we haven't moved as nothing. We've done nothing. Like usually we trend up or we kind of have bigger candles or bigger drops or bigger moves. Nothing so far. So it's cooking for something, but let's see when that is going to happen. The daily being bearish, Forex is bullish, broke down here, broke up there. So that's my daily high low formation right here. And the market could be coming in to attack this to take as a structural liquidity to tap inside the daily supply. And then from here, if we have a bearish Forex alignment, we can be looking for a short trade, sorry. And for a long trade, if the market's first during the week starts bearish, you can be looking for it to come right there and then drop to a lower time frame and look for a long trade. So that is how I view US 30 right now. And I will be looking to trade it, of course, provided we get some clear setups. I like that we shook out of this big consolidation right now. So let's see if we're gonna start having some clear market intentions, right? I'm feeling really sick right now after 50 minutes of recording, so coming to the end. Nasdaq. I mean, just look at Nasdaq, even without dropping, going to a higher time frame. It's just choppiness, right? Monthly time frame, well, yeah, monthly is bullish. I mean, no question about it. There is the monthly range pullback. Last monthly candle, no information. Massive previous March was really nice. April is a little continuation, but nothing as much, right? Dropping onto the weekly, again, if I just mark the weekly break, which is right there, let's mark it the same. You can see that here, why is this like that? Here, there is no bullish break as we have on US 30. It's still bearish, and right now it's still tapping inside this weekly supply. So then dropping onto the daily time frame. Daily time frame is tricky, but again, it has been maintaining the bullish bias for quite a while. We pushed up, broke structure higher. We had another demand zone created, and it was actually this week. Yeah, actually we broke last week, and then we had like 4 days of pullback on Nasdaq, and then just one day, boom. Bullish engulfing candle on Friday, about to be making a new daily high. So you can see that it looks overall bullish. And then yeah, on the 40 time frame, we broke structure down right there. We reversed down, pull back, lower high. So you can be looking to take a short from here, lower low, lower high, lower low, trend change up. So yeah, 4 hourly is already up, daily is up. This is the 4 hourly high low right here. Yeah, you can take actually this one to be precise. This is the one right? So I mean, if it just goes on and takes out the high, that's great, because then you can take some shorts towards a pullback and then continue going long. If it starts with a breakdown, with a pullback down, you can then look for longs. But again, it's coming so close to taking out the daily high. In fact, it's just perfectly equals, that I think it's just gonna go and take it and then maybe initiate a pullback. So it looks a little bit better. I'm happy we went outside of this range right there. But my main question is, are we gonna start having some clear trend to start actually trusting that the market is okay, bullish, and we keep longing? Okay. S&P, same story, bullish on the monthly time frame, but pull back all the way back down to 35. Let's check out the monthly candle. Nothing as much. Small monthly candle. Weekly time frame is still bearish, like again, similar to Nasdaq and US 30. We're still bearish on this one. Right? No, sorry, US 30 is bullish, so that is only similar to Nasdaq. Broke down, and we've been taking kind of liquidity, but we have been failing to push into the lows, and it's just chopping, right? I just find them really hard to analyze. And then again, similar to like US 30, we had this little breakdown, and right now it's pulling back, so we can be looking to short. But again, I think this high is weak because it failed to cause anything, so I think it's a very good area of liquidity. So we come in to take this one, then tap inside this weekly supply, and then maybe get a short. But who knows? Let's wait for CPI next week. Forward time frame, similar to everything else. So let's just make this red as it's supply. It created a trend change to the upside right there. That is our forward demand zone. So it depends on how it works out. If it pulls back first thing on Monday, then we can look for longs. But if it just keeps pushing up and then maybe gives us a bearish alignment from this daily supply, then we can be looking for a short trade. All right. So those are the indices. If we have a look like at the fear and greed index, it's been chopping around as well. Like even when the fear and greed starts to chop out, then definitely something is wrong. But we're still in the greed, so we can be expecting like a little bit of a pullback, because it constantly keeps oscillating between fear and greed, because that is essentially what drives the market. But yeah, we are like around the top. The top, you can see like everything is getting a little bit neutral from greed, but again, I still think we have space to be pulling back below towards fear, and then maybe start buying. So this is a great indicator for also buying and selling indices or long term, or if you're swing trading with like ETFs and stuff. So guys, I'm gonna wrap it up right there. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Sorry for me being sick and my voice sounding annoying, but it was really hard for me. I have my tea right next to me. I keep blowing my nose, but hopefully you find it insightful. I can't wait to talk to you on Tuesday. And this week I'm definitely gonna be trading because I'm back from my holiday, although I got sick, and looking to take some good trades. I'm gonna be continuing with my thesis as well. I'm having deadlines in May, so I'm not gonna be very active in terms of educational videos, but then once I graduate, I'm gonna get into this doing full time, so it's gonna be amazing, and a lot amazing stuff is coming for you. So take care, have an amazing weekend, and talk to you on Tuesday.